So now that you've had that general introduction for wizard school, I'd like to give you an additional piece of homework. You're thinking, wait, you already gave me this I am thing while online. Well, yeah, but let's actually really use it, not just for some general program that you're going to get into, which is going to be very specific and very awesome, but let's find something for your life where you can use this right now. I'd like for you to write, in this moment, a list of 5 traits that you would like to embody much more often in your day-to-day life. And if you'd like some hints, some suggestions, I will give you those, and I'm going to give them relatively slowly, and I'm going to try to embody them as much as I can to share the vibration. And as contrast, I'm going to say the intellectual concept. The reason is if you're I aming something, you have a whole level of integration you can I am it with. Saying I am peace is very different from saying I am peace. And so knowing that difference will help you understand, do you have a general concept or do you have an embodiment? Now, there is also a very important difference in continuum and length and breadth and depth across the linear time that, even though we can say mystically doesn't exist, through our experience does. And both truths are true simultaneously. Philosophical debate we'll get into another time. But if you've been peaceful continuously for 3 years, your body will be different. Your vagus nerve will be different. The tension in your muscles will be different. How people see you will be different. How you have communicated and feel in this moment, and have felt and have communicated and do communicate, all of those things will be different. Versus, if you're a type A personality, you work quickly, you think about things, you get things done, you're fitting this magic thing in, you want to get as much value as you can, and as quickly as you can, apply it to a lot of things. This isn't really peaceful, but it can be pretty productive and it's pretty useful. It's kind of beta wave. If that's your default, then your body and your system is going to be very different. What this I am technique is teaching you is it's teaching you access. It's up to you and your life goals and your life path to consider what you want as your default self and your default I am. It may be where you're at, but if where you're at is not the type of person you'd like to be, then this could be a very useful and interesting scenario in reprogramming yourself. And what is the self and how to program and reprogram the self is the topic of our next lesson. So if you're engaged, please stay tuned. So here's a few I ams if you haven't already written out your own. We have the peaceful one, so I think you have that vibration by now. I am determined. This is a vibration of determination. I'm going to get that thing done. I'm going to go to the store and buy the piece of cheese. I'm going to cut the cheese, and I'm going to not take myself too seriously. This is a vibration of levity. This is a vibration of realizing that things are going to be fine. And even though you have things to do, and there may be consequences for not doing them, it's okay. You can be lighthearted. You don't have to be all intense all the time. This is a vibration of worry. It's important to know this vibration because you probably don't want to spend too much time in this vibration. It can lead to a vibration of overwhelm, and it's good to know negative vibrations along with positive ones because we have to recognize things as part of a repertoire of self. This is a vibration of reflection. You might want to add this to your yes list. And you might have thought of a no list by now, depending on its value and its frequency in your life and your history and the people you have to deal with. Reflection can be quite useful, but it's not always the best way to get things done in life. This is an aligned, purposeful way of being. This is a way of being most of us want, where we're calm, collected, and present. This way of being is a technique that is magical, psychological, and physiological. What I did is I embodied and tuned in with part of my soul and part of the emotional spectrum, like I did with all the other exercises. So you could just say present and purposeful and add that to your list. There's also a vibration of excited, of eager. Now, there's eager and hyper, which is something that is way too much for most of us to deal with. But there's eager and excited and happy and joyful and optimistic, which is something I think a lot of us could use a lot more of. Notice the difference, especially if you replay this in my face. My eyebrows are up, my eyes are wider, my pitch might be a little bit higher, I'm smiling a little bit, my cheekbones are a little bit higher, I seem a bit more positive because I am a bit more positive. I am a bit more eager, a bit more positive, a bit more hopeful, a bit more, yeah, I'm feeling good about stuff. And this is a persona, a lens of consciousness, and I am we want often. This is a vibration of, I don't have another word for it, but it's just like fine. And we all know that fine isn't really fine. It could mean many other things, but why even bother looking at it? You feel fine. Fine is fine. And the important thing about knowing the fine vibration is really understanding. Is this who you are and want to be, or is this who you've become? Have you been feeling a little down? Could people maybe say you're a little depressed? Could this be you're relaxed? Or could this be you just are losing care and engagement with things? I could really offer to you to be wary of fine. Because if you think of a spectrum of emotional equilibrium, and you think of positive, healthy, high quality, good emotions in life that you want to feel above that threshold, or you're at fine, and then you're grumpy, and then you're irritable, and you just don't care about things, and you're not even depressed, you're kind of cynical. And below that, you could get angry, you can get defensive. Being fine is a neutral way of avoiding those negative things. But because being fine isn't really much of an improvement and it's closer to them, I would offer to you that your default can be more positive. Honestly, Brendon Burchard is a great persona, a great person, a great embodiment of this. Oprah goes all over the place. Tony Robbins is pretty high, but he also goes all over the place. There's a lot of people who go up, a lot of people who go down. The show The Magicians, it's generally below fine. If you've seen it, it's based on the novels by Lev Grossman. They're excellent. The reason we want to be at these higher, more positive vibrations is they feel better. They appear better to others. Others treat us better because of it. If you're more optimistic, you're happier, you enjoy life more, you have more ideas, you're more creative. There's all this good stuff about optimists, better immune systems. Now, that isn't being fake. What that's doing is wearing a lens. That's changing your shirt. If you have a feeling inside of, I feel so, that's okay. You can be honest with that. You can address that in healing sessions. You can address that in personal growth time. But if you're showing up, whether it's for camera, whether it's for work, whether it's for somebody you care about, what emotional clothing do you want to wear? So emotions and emotional clothing and lenses and personas are deeper aspects of the self that we're going to get into in a following lesson. But for now, I'm just offering these as reflection. Hopefully you've completed your list of 5 things. If not, please do it as soon as this video ends to get in very clear of which I ams do you want more forefront in your experience, and which I ams just don't serve you. You can be aware of them, but they're not who you want to be. So with that, thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you soon.